Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my video review of Batman Assault on Arkham, a DC animated film. And yeah, I just watched this one last night. I actually bought it. I had heard quite a few good things about it, and hell, it's Kevin fucking Conroy voicing Batman. He's the man. He is the Batman. And so really, it was just an automatic buy for me. I know I would enjoy it to some extent. And it exceeded that expectation by quite a bit, let me say. Here's a regular cover for it. Very cool. Although I do like this sleeve cover too. It looks pretty nice. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. The last two animated DC movie reviews I did were for The Killing Joke, and then the one before that was for Batman Year One. I did like The Killing Joke. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the most part. Some of the Batgirl stuff could have been moved around or changed a little bit. But I really liked how they adapted the psyche between Batman and the Joker from that story. So I thought that was good for what it was for the most part. And Batman Year One, I honestly didn't like too much. I like Bryan Cranston voicing Commissioner Gordon, but that was about it. Of course, I love the original animated series, Justice League, stuff like that. But as far as the animated films go, my favorite one is probably Batman Under the Red Hood. But this one, it's honestly pretty damn close. Maybe if I watch another time or two, it might very well become my favorite comic book animated film, most likely, actually. Of course, people are comparing this and The Killing Joke left and right now, but there were a lot of things about Assault on Arkham that I did like more, but at the same time, you got to think that they're very different stories, very different types of stories from the comics. So it's a little weird to compare. And of course, another obvious comparison is Assault on Arkham versus Suicide Squad, the live-action movie that came out back on August 5th. I personally really enjoyed Suicide Squad. I thought it was a lot of fun. There are some things that I didn't like too much about it, but overall I really loved it. I didn't really like how Killer Croc was handled in that one, and a couple other little things, but you guys can go back and watch my review if you want to. And as far as what's better, Assault on Arkham or Suicide Squad, you don't have to compare everything. I don't know, it's hard to say. In a way, I did enjoy Assault on Arkham a little bit more, maybe. But that could easily just be because this is like the ultimate Batman to me, like Kevin Conroy Batman, and a really entertaining, cartoon movie. So why wouldn't I like it more, right? Kevin Conroy from my childhood and still my favorite to this day. So why not? Why wouldn't I like Assault on Arkham more? But Suicide Squad, I think it's a really enjoyable one. I think it's gotten way too much shit. As you can see, I really did enjoy Suicide Squad. I mean, I have getting confused. I do have a poster. Oops. I have a poster like right over there. So obviously I did love Suicide Squad. And I loved I loved Assault on Arkham. So let's just enjoy that. It's still a good time to be a comic book fan, huh? But anyway, just wanted to get those comparisons out of the way. As far as the movie itself, let's get into the actual review. Like I said, it's Kevin Conroy voicing Batman, and there's no better voice actor for the role than him. He is the voice of Batman. There's no one better. And then he had before we get into the voice cast, let's just go over the actual story, or at least the basis of it. Most of you guys know how it goes, are a fan of the comics and stuff like that, or know anything about the team at all. But it is set in the universe of the Arkham video game franchise, which I think is really cool. I love the Arkham games. I'm still not done with the Arkham Knight yet, but I loved all of them pretty much. So apparently this occurs after Arkham Origins, but about 2 years before Arkham Asylum, which is cool. And I noticed it. I didn't even know it was exactly tied into the video game franchise. But when I watched the movie, I noticed how character designs, especially for like Bane, Poison Ivy, and the Joker to an extent, I noticed how they were very similar to Arkham. So I'm not surprised to know that it's actually in the Arkham universe, which is really cool. But yeah, you guys know how it goes with the film. Amanda Waller basically forces, some very dangerous but also very expendable criminals, into doing like really corrupt, weird government dirty work, pretty much. And she puts a chip in them, and she can pretty much kill them and detonate, make their heads explode, should they like try to run off or do something against their wishes. And this time, Amanda Waller is trying to get him to break into Arkham Asylum and track down Edward Nygma, of course, the Riddler. And, of course, they must get around all the security, various other inmates that may be lurking. And, of course, they try to avoid signaling Batman for as long as possible. They try to avoid, like, any possible way he could pick up on what's going on over there. But, it doesn't take too long before Batman, figures out something's up. Batman pays so much attention to the detail that he knows, like, each member of the staff. He knows, like, what days a week they usually work, what days they don't. So when he notices, when he sees the old security footage, and he thinks, oh, this guy doesn't work on, Saturdays or Thursdays or whatever, he knows something's immediately wrong. So I like how that happened, actually. But we'll get into more story specifics in a few minutes. And that's basically the story. It's not too complex. It's straightforward. You pretty much get what the title refers to, Assault on Arkham, and that's what it is. And people could complain about that, could complain there should be more depth to it, and maybe that's like the one like minor gripe I do have with it, is I wish there was more like an emotional hook somewhere. I know it's an animated movie, but what made Killing Joke at least as good as it was, again, I do like Assault on Arkham more, but what made Killing Joke good in its own way was that psyche between Batman and Joker. That wasn't as concentrated on here, and it's more like a straight up action type of film. But that's just a minor thing, and I wasn't really watching it, to be like have my mind perplexed or anything. I was watching it to see like a fun action movie in the Batman universe, and that's what I got here. So I really have no problem with the simplicity of the story. So besides Kevin Conroy, you have Neal McDonough, I can't pronounce names apparently, voicing Deadshot, Floyd Lawton. He's fine. He's a pretty solid actor. He's been in tons of roles. He was on Arrow recently. He was Dum Dum Dugan. He was in a movie with The Rock, Walking Tall. He's a pretty solid actor, and he did a fine job voicing Deadshot. He had Hynden Walch as Harley Quinn, and I don't think she's voiced Harley Quinn before, unless I just said something that completely screwed me over. But she's voiced quite a few characters in like various other DC projects. She's voiced young Bruce Wayne at one point, apparently. She's voiced Ace in the Justice League cartoon, which is really cool. That was a really good episode. And various other things like that. She even did various voices in Dexter's Lab. That's not DC, but I'm going off the rails here. But she's done Flashpoint. She's done War. Teen Titans, Trouble in Tokyo, Starfire, of course. But yeah, anyway, she does a good job as Harley. She sounds just like you'd expect Harley to. She's not quite the actress from like the animated series or anything, but she's pretty damn close, damn close enough. You had Troy Baker as the Joker. Of course, the greatest voice for the Joker is always going to be Mark Hamill, but I really do love when Troy Baker takes on the role too. I think he's a great second to Mark Hamill. He sounds very, very close to Mark Hamill, so if you're not like a really big fan of it, you might not be able to tell the difference. He voiced Joker in Arkham Origins, which I really love Arkham Origins. It's still probably my favorite Arkham game overall. Personally, anyway, it's really close though. I go back and forth between Origins, Asylum, and City. He also voiced Two-Face before as well in Arkham Knight. But yeah, I think he does a really good job as a Joker, and it was good to hear him again. He's not Mark Hamill, but I think he's a great second to him, and I think he does honor the role and live up to what Mark Hamill's laid out anyway. So I really do like Troy Baker as Joker. Yeah, Nolan North in the movie as well. He's kind of notorious for voicing Deadpool in some of the animated stuff. He voiced KJ Beast and Penguin in the movie. And Penguin also had his Arkham design as well, which is cool. But yeah, that's the main voice cast. He also had C.C.H. Pounder as Amanda Waller. And she's Amanda Waller. She's what you expect her to be. She's had roles in Sons of Anarchy and stuff like that. Let me just search something up real quick. But yeah, she voiced Amanda Waller before in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. I thought she sounded exactly like the character did in the cartoon. Okay, she voiced her in Unlimited. She voiced her in she voiced an Anchor Woman in Batman Beyond, and then of course Beware the Batman too. That cartoon isn't too good though. But yeah, she also voiced Amanda Waller in Public Enemies as well, which is an okay animated one. But yeah, so she does a fine job here again. And Jennifer Hale as Killer Frost, and she's good. John DiMaggio, I can't pronounce his name for some reason, but voice of Bender on Futurama. He voices King Shark here. And King Shark was originally going to be in Suicide Squad, but they switched it to Croc. I do wish they would have used Croc differently in Suicide Squad, so maybe King Shark would have been a better fit in that movie. But it was good to see him here. He's kind of a comic relief character, but he's also good for your big Bane action scenes. And spoilers, he ends up actually being killed in the movie, where they try to destroy the devices in their necks, with electricity, and it ends up not really working too well. Ends up frying him and making his head explode. That's another thing. It seemed like when the things were detonated in this, it was almost more violent than it was in the Suicide Squad movie, which is interesting because they're both rated PG-13. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, voice cast, really good voice cast. And then you also have this dynamic between Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Joker. Little love triangle. Harley's at that point where she's kind of going away from Joker. She's becoming more independent, and she still has that weird obsession and connection to him though. But she's in a huge denial mode right now. And of course, Joker, very abusive. Treats her very poorly, but she does still have this weird love and obsession for him. But she's trying to sort of make him feel sorry, and she sleeps with Deadshot, and but it's fine. It's definitely more interesting than the Batgirl stuff and Killing Joke. I'll say that. Eventually, of course, Joker's at Arkham, and he eventually is able to get out, and that's when things start getting really crazy in the movie. And of course, Batman eventually arrives there, and you get some really good action scenes. And they think they finally stopped the Bat. I think it's Black Spider. He gets Batman's utility belt, and he takes that as a thing of pride, adding to his ego. And you find out that it was Batman dressed up as Black Spider later on, and he was just following him the whole time. You have to get closer to him, which is really a clever thing. But yeah, so there's just a lot that happens in the movie. It ends up, of course, Deadshot and the others are going about their mission in a much different way than Waller wanted them to. Like I said earlier on, they switched around the camera footage so Waller wasn't watching them. They pretty much just take out everyone. They don't go about it discreetly or anything like that. And eventually all the inmates end up being released, so that's when you see little cameo appearances from characters like Poison Ivy and Bane. It's cool to see them. You get to see Batman, have a brief little fight with Bane, which is cool. The main confrontation is actually between not Batman, but Joker and Deadshot. It's actually a pretty cool fight scene. Joker actually stabs him quite a few times with the knife. He probably should have been dead, but it kind of goes back and forth. It's pretty even. At one point, it looks like Joker probably could have shot him dead if it wasn't for something else happening, and then vice versa. And Joker ends up, falling with a helicopter after Deadshot's able to get out, and the helicopter supposedly explodes. Surely Joker would be dead, right? No. Joker constantly cheats death, and you find out later that they didn't find his body, so of course. The ending's also really cool. Batman confronting Amanda Waller and warning her to discontinue the Suicide Squad program. And then as soon as Batman leaves, Waller has a laser pointing at her. And it's Deadshot. Deadshot. Another thing about Deadshot, he has that daughter dynamic, and they show a little bit of that in this movie. And it looks like they're actually on vacation. He's wearing a Hawaiian, hula shirt or whatever it is, and his daughter just has her headphones on. She's playing in the background, and that's when the movie cuts off. But of course, chances are he might have failed because you didn't hear the gun actually fire or anything like that. It says right here the movie ends before he pulls the trigger, so... But in a way, I would like to think that Deadshot killed Waller there. She needs to die. She is really a large person in this movie, too. She was bigger than usual in animation form. Bigger than she was in the Justice League show, for sure. But yeah, really cool ending. I like the Joker and Deadshot fight a lot. I liked all the Batman action scenes. That's another really good thing about this movie too, though. Batman and Joker have prominent roles in it, but at the same time they mix that in pretty well with all the stuff with the rest of the group. The rest of the task force. They don't take all the concentration away from them just for the sake of Joker and Batman, but they kind of meld it together fairly well, I thought. He also had Captain Boomerang. Him and Deadshot have a little rivalry in it. That's okay. I don't really care about Boomerang too much, to be honest, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's the points of the story I kind of wanted to talk about. Really enjoyable. Again, simple, straightforward, but I think it was still a really fun thing to watch. The animation itself, it's nothing new. We've seen animation style like this before. It's not really anything new or overly impressive, but it's about on par with what we've seen with most of them. And I'm glad it was something like this as opposed to like the anime style, some like the Son of Batman and stuff like that. I don't really like the anime style for DC stuff. So it's a little bit better than that, and it's on par with everything else. So yeah. Anyway, really enjoyed Assault on Arkham. Again, it's weird to compare this and Suicide Squad, but I honestly might like this a little bit more. But not every aspect. I loved Harley and Suicide Squad and certain parts of that with Will Smith's Deadshot. But I think Assault on Arkham can be enjoyed quite a bit as well. Like I said, it's just a really good time to be a comic book fan. This ranks up there with my favorite animated comic book films of all time for sure. With Under the Red Hood and such. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this one. Fitting that I wore my Batman shirt today. I planned that. But yeah. Genius, right? Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, subscribe, and yeah, catch you guys next time. Peace.